Okay, so I made the stupid mistake, I guess, really, but um, it needs to be the actual, I guess it's asking for a root node, so it needs to be the one that's actually, inside the first one in here, really. That seems to be the one that works, not this one. Now, theoretically, I've played around with this for a little bit, and it's really weird when I do things like this because one minute I will try something and it'll work perfectly. The next time I try it, it won't work. And it seems to be something that I'm not doing something exactly, I mean, literally exactly the same as I did the first time round. I just don't know, but whatever it is, something doesn't quite seem to, um, you know, happen exactly the same way every single time. So, but what we need to do here is actually select this one, which has already got is already i3D mapped anyway. So we've got our i3D map for that here. And then we just need to set that in the root node of the clip. So open a frame 01 and then the name of the actual source. And then we're good to go there. And that should be fine. So I will just put this into game quick, just so you can actually see that it does now work. And then what I want to do is actually duplicate the door in here, I don't want to create another animated door. What I want to do is see if I can actually duplicate this entire door piece here and set it up, but use exactly the same animation on another door. Hopefully that makes sense. Maybe it will when we get to that bit. But first of all, we're going to go into game and just make sure that, everything is everything. So we'll just quickly go in here and I'll show you all working. So if we go in here like so, could really pause here, but it shouldn't take too long. Now that I've started the game, it shouldn't start. It should start up fairly quick. We go to here, this. So now if I go into here and go into here, go to my placeable shed and place it down. Whoops, we can go over to the shed or whatever you want to call this. And I've got errors, yes. Now I've got an error here, which is the physics static error, because I didn't change those to kinematic, but that's okay, that's an easy fix. What we want to do is make sure that the doors do work. So if I go in here, they work. Okay, so that's great. That's exactly what I wanted to do. And if I come out of here now, I have got a bit of a problem because of that static actor thing going on. It's causing some problems, but you can see when I operate the door, all of the animations are working as intended. So that's good. So I'm going to Alt F4 out of that because I need to go into here and change these values under here to kinematic, which will fix that problem. Okay, so that's that one done. And then what I want to do though is I want to actually create a new door. So what I'm going to do is, with all of this selected here, I'm going to duplicate this. Okay, so I'm just going to go do Control D to duplicate it. And I'm going to move it back to where it needs to be for here. I'm just going to move it back like so. And we'll just eyeball this for now, it's fine. Doesn't have to be exactly perfect. Just going to be for a test sort of thing. So somewhere there will be fine, okay? This is my second door. So now I'm going to change this to door 02. I need to change all of these as well. Because they are i3D mapped, I need to change all of these to something different so that obviously I can i3D map them correctly. So This is where it gets a little bit more complicated here. So what I think I might do here then is I'm going to keep everything the same there, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do an underscore 01 on the end of these, okay? Just to try and keep this as simple as possible here. So we'll do root 01, this will be 01. Now I don't know if this is going to work. I have not tested any of this stuff just yet, so it might all explode all over the screen, not work. I don't know, might do all sorts of things, but we'll see. So let's do this, that, and that. Okay, so let's save this, and then I'll pop that up on my other screen here a minute. Just, that's fine. So we'll go back into here, and then I'm going to duplicate this. So I will need to create a new trigger as well for this. So I'm just going to copy that, and then we'll just paste this in here. So this is going to be double door 02 as my save ID. And then we need to obviously set all this stuff up. So this is going to be, in this case, it's going to be for the root node. It's going to be that, but everything else there is going to be the same. So we're going to have door trigger 02. So here what I would do is go into the door triggers. I'll take this one here and I'll duplicate that. So we'll do Control D, and I'm just going to move this back. So what I would do, if I take these, Shift Control C on that, take this, Shift Control V, and that will be that. Fine. So that will be door trigger door 02, which is fine. And then, so I need to take that, paste that into there. Okay. Now I need to set all that up in here. So let's see. I think what I will do is I'm going to pause. Well, maybe not. I might just carry on. Why not? Let's just do it this way. So we'll create a couple of spaces here. That's fine. Now what I should be able to do here though is I can take this one, I'll duplicate that, copy paste, and then just do that. Now all of these should be the same, just with a 0_01 on the end. So I'm just going to copy all those, copy and paste. And then I need to just put on the end of all of these the 01. So we'll just do that like so. Okay. Then we can just go through these and set them up. So I'll do the door trigger will be that. And then we have got that. 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 So this is handle part. So that. Copy, paste. And ref. Now, potentially, all things considered, in whatever, I would set all of this up a little bit better than this to start with, possibly, so that this would be like door 01 underscore 01, for example, and then it would be door 01 underscore 02 or something like that, but this will work just as well for now. So this is handle 02 underscore 1. I mean, for the most part, in game, as far as things go, nobody's ever going to see any of this stuff. So it's not the end of the world sort of thing, as far as naming conventions go and whatever else. That one, and then this one, collision. So then this one here, be that one. I'm not sure if this one is actually required as to be i3D map, but it doesn't matter. It won't hurt. We can do that. Let's go ahead and save the i3D. And we've saved this, that's fine. So let's see what happens. So if we go back into game, then if I've done that correctly, it should actually, what I might do before I go any further, let's just make sure that everything is everything here. Door trigger 02, that's fine. Got that set up. It's got a new save group on that one. That should be fine. So let's go here and see what happens. So in animations, there's quite a lot involved, no matter what you do animation wise, but once you have it in place, once you have that first animation set up and everything, as long as you don't, scale anything, you could move it wherever you need to move it to, and it should, in theory, we'll find out right now, be reproducible multiple times over. So if I do this one, that one's fine. If we come to this one, that one's fine, no errors. So I'm using one animation source to control multiple things, but separately. They do actually work as separate doors, but it's using one animation file to do that. And it just kind of makes things more interesting because you can have the more complex animations with all these extra moving parts going on, but you're just using one animation file to do it, wherever you want to do that on your building, and I just think that that is fantastic. That's something that I've, again, wanted for a while, and it may have been around in the past, but I just didn't have the capability of actually putting it all together. One, because Blender did not have all the features of the i3D exporter, and by the time I actually got Maya, I was concentrating on other things, and didn't go into this too much. And I'm not even sure if the clip source stuff for animated doors and that was even a thing back in 19. I don't remember. It may have been there, but I never really looked into it enough to notice it. But for 22, I noticed it, and now that we do have the extra features built into the i3D exporter for Blender, you don't need to spend ridiculous amounts of money anymore to get this, which I think is fantastic. Again, it's like I say, something I've wanted for a very long time It is just putting all the pieces together to you know, make it all work, I guess. So there you go. We can Alt F4 out of that, doesn't matter. So we have, you know, a building with 2 doors, well, 4 doors if you want to calculate all of the doors together, but you know, 2 door sets, if you like, with their triggers and everything. They do have collisions on them, which are part of the door itself. And again, you know, just to go over that, the actual collision is part of the door itself. So whatever bone or transform group that you've got here for the door, the collision is a child of that. Okay. And then, you know, you've got all your other parts, you know, set up accordingly as they are. So yeah, again, there's quite a bit to go over, you know, quite a bit to understand, and you know, whatever else, and linking all those parts together can be quite daunting at times. You know, what parts need to be where, and then, you know, setting it all up in the XML can be quite a challenge as well at times. But hopefully, what I've gone over in all of the areas, Blender as well as, you know, the XML, the Giants editor, you know, and all those sorts of parts, gives you possible ways of maybe doing something more than just having a cube as a door or a rectangle. You know, you can actually have something a little bit more interesting. I think it just kind of opens up doors to other possibilities, maybe, you know, for more complex animations. Now, I will say that, you know, you have to kind of have a balance. You know, if you're going to have doors, I would, you know, on some buildings, I would create I'm a big sci-fi fan, so I'd have doors swishing and swashing and flipping and rotating and all sorts of things. But there is a compromise, you know. You will get to a point where the animation will be so complex that you'll end up with literally a stuttering mess when you go to actually operate that door or whatever it might be in game, because it's such a complex animation, the engine just can't cope with it. So you have to make a compromise, obviously, but it could potentially, you know, again, you know, give possibilities, you know, to more complex animations for doors and other things. You know, even if it's something like a window, you know, you could have some really fancy kind of aperture going on, you know, like I don't know. Possibilities are possibly endless, a lot of possibilities, but within reason you can do all sorts of different things. You know, maybe I've shown you a way of implementing that. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. Hopefully I've included enough and shown enough that you've got somewhere to start from, and yeah, take it from there, sort of thing.